What up, y'all? It is a rainy Saturday, and I'm chilling. I have work in an hour. I've been doing some creative writing for most of the day, and yeah, I was just like chilling on my back porch, with my laptop, just listening to the rain and the birds and the wind, and doing some creative writing. It felt really good. Um, I've been working on the same novel for like how long now? Since like July of last year, so almost a year now, like 10 months or something. And um, I've been focused. I mean, it's a big novel. It's a very ambitious project. I feel like it's gonna take like another 4 or 5 years before I even have anything close to a final draft. But yeah, it's kind of like I'm telling kind of like my life story in a really roundabout way. At least my life story so far. Um, but yeah, so did that today. That was really nice. And like I said, I go to work in about an hour at the Ashmont Grill, which is a restaurant in Boston. Um, so my mom likes to keep CNN on. So like, there's always just CNN playing in our kitchen. She's not here right now. I'm the only one here right now. She's in Ireland. Um, but yeah, CNN is basically always playing in our household, and it like the only thing that's ever on is the election right now, at least. And it seems like for the last, I don't know, for the last like 6 to 8 months or something, like 90% of the election, or excuse me, 90% of the newscast on CNN has been about the election. And on top of that, like at least 50% of that has been focused around Donald Trump. Um, and, CNN is America's most popular news station. And, because it's nationwide, um, they seem to cover, what people want to watch. They kind of have it down pat, the whole news thing. They seems like they really figured out how to do it. Um, they have a nice look and everything, everything's red, white, and blue. And it's interesting that, like, for almost an entire year, mostly what Americans care about is just like this race to, the presidency. Um, doesn't really seem like people really care too much about what's going on around the world. At least not viewers of CNN. I mean, like just the other week, they probably spent like, 2 to 3 hours in a single day just talking about some kid falling into a gorilla pit, which is like okay, that's an interesting story for sure. But does that really need to take up like hours? Like, this is what people are interested in? There's way more important things and critical things happening all around the world. There's 7 billion people in the world, and there's wars being waged, there's people being killed, um, and we care about a 5-year-old or whatever that fell into a gorilla pit. Um, I don't know. It just doesn't really seem right. Um, and it's made it very clear to me that all these things combined, that America is a very self-centered country. It's just based around like just America. Like, America only cares about America. And I know I'm generalizing. I know that all Americans don't feel that way, and I know that all Americans don't see, a kid falling into a gorilla pit as more important than, more critical issues happening around the world. Um, but I mean, CNN is a good representation, at least, of what people seem to care about, because that's what gets the ratings, right? They play what people want to see, and if they play something that people don't want to see, then they stop playing it. And if they play something like Donald Trump giving a speech that everyone wants to tune into, then that's what they'll continue. And they're just doing their jobs essentially. They're trying to make as much money as possible because they're a business at the end of the day. You can be as passionate as you want about journalism, but if you're not making any money covering, topics in Asia, and what's getting you more money is covering the election in America, then I guess you would, cover the election more. But and also CNN to me at this point is, and I don't mean to pick on CNN. I feel like this goes to for most news networks in America. But CNN to me is basically a reality show. And it hasn't always been that way, but especially ever since Donald Trump has been like, the main character. He's been the star of CNN for almost the last year at this point. Maybe more like 6 or 8 months, but yeah, he he really took over, and I feel like at this point it's just a reality show. And then like clips of Donald Trump are kind of interweaved with, videos of a kid and a gorilla in a gorilla pit. It just doesn't. It seems like it's really just entertainment. It's not really informative anymore. It's just entertainment. And then they'll just have like random people just talking about what they think about what Donald Trump said. And there's always just two sides: those who don't like Donald Trump and those who like Donald Trump. And the people who want him to be president are always going to defend him no matter what. And the people who don't want him to be president are going to, attack him in any way possible. And it just doesn't feel like news. It feels like a complete waste of time. And sometimes I'll like walk into the kitchen, and of course CNN will be on, and I'll overhear something that sounds interesting, and I'll watch it for 5 minutes, and then I'll really think about like what I'm watching. I'm just watching people argue over like what Donald Trump said. Seems like we're not even expected to make up our own minds anymore. We're just supposed to like watch like 2 or 3 people debating what Donald Trump said, and then like choose which one we agree with. See, look, right now, Trump expected to tear into Clinton Foundation donations. That's the other thing too. Politics has just become like, it's like bullies on a playground. Like they're just going back at each other. Like, why does it have to be such a fight? Like, it's such a power struggle. Why can't we just like really talk things out rather than just like insulting each other back and forth? Today Donald Trump tweeted that Mitt Romney choked like a dog or something like that. When he was running against Barack. I don't really need, for me personally, I don't really need much more convincing than that. Like, if that tweet had come out a year ago, I would have just dropped all considerations of Donald Trump for president. We don't need a president who compares, intelligent, successful people like Mitt Romney to dogs, and just like blatantly insults them over social media. To me, that's something that a super immature, like middle schooler would do, who's super insecure about himself, and that's just like him, like his hormones like going crazy, and he like can't control himself, and he has to take it out on somebody else in order to protect like whatever he thinks he has. It's pathetic. It's absolutely pathetic. So yeah, today's vlog was more of a rant than anything. I'm not really, I don't know, I don't really get angry about this kind of stuff, but it does kind of boil in my blood a little bit. And it's a rainy Saturday. The weather's kind of gloomy, and I've been very contemplative today because I've been writing all day, and that's just the effect that it has on me. So I I don't really like talking about it too much, but at some point I just gotta like point out how ridiculous CNN is at this point, and especially commercials. Commercials always like blow my mind at just how like silly they are, and how blatantly they're just trying to tell you to give them your money. Um, Also, we're way overprescribed at this point as a species. They have a medicine for everything. Like, why can't we just, just live our lives? I mean, I understand like some things you need medicine for, um, but especially like just makeup and like just putting band-aids over everything. I don't know. It just like, anyways, I'm gonna stop talking because I feel like now everything that has been bothering me about TV and news and stuff is just coming out. Maybe it's the way it should be, but anyways, yeah, I'll see you tomorrow. Hopefully, I'll be in a more interesting location than just my kitchen slash dining room. But yeah.